Bye, Universe 4. No longer are you going to be around to bother us with your weird characters. And yes, it hurts to sacrifice one of our last bald characters. We still got Frieza, but he ain't no Piccolo. He's not as close to our hearts as Piccolo. You guys think that's a fair trade-off, Piccolo, for Universe 4? I personally think it is. Now, this isn't me excusing the way Piccolo went down, him being on the edge and, little Damon here, this bug basically like tapping on him right out of the arena. He put in some major work though, exposing that crazy chameleon Gamisadas, forcing a silhouette out of him so that he could eventually take him out. Also helping his teammates, by the way, who were being targeted like Android 18. The way he took Shansa out was funny as heck, and honestly, that little critter, I don't even really know how to describe that thing, the one that created all the illusions. Completely pointless character to create. Why would you even go about creating that character? So I don't really like the way that they took Piccolo down. However, I do want to bring this up that I do feel like Universe 4 got nerfed pretty heavy. If I was writing this episode, it wouldn't only be Piccolo defeated, and it wouldn't have just been him knocked over, like he would have been overpowered. I would have gotten rid of Piccolo and Gohan, and here's why I say that. Ultimately, I wouldn't have liked to get rid of these characters by Universe 4. You're introducing these characters with all these unique abilities that are honestly pretty deadly, especially if you have them like working together. Like if you had Damon and Gamisadas and Shansa like stuck up one of these characters' butts creating illusions, like if they all use their abilities at the same time, that could totally justify taking out multiple characters on our team. Because Kitela, by the way, has been noted to be one of the strongest gods of destructions. You can then ask, well, what does that have to do with the Universe 4 squad? So if you guys remember before the Tournament of Power started during the recruitment arc, there was a conversation between Whis and Beerus where we find out that there's somebody that Beerus challenged, that there's a mortal in that universe that is stronger than even a god of destruction, right? Come to find out, that is Universe 4. I'm guessing that has something to do with the way I misunderstood that and something to do with the continuity of the anime and the manga. But again, there is a lot of connections between the two formats, and they could have done something more with Universe 4. They didn't build them up, so I understand why they got rid of all of them in this week's episode. Now that Universe 4 is gone, honestly, I see Kitela and his universe as absolute trash, and we really lost nothing of value now that he's not around anymore. Now, I've got to say my favorite part of the episode was seeing Goku and Android 17 working together. We've got Goku punching the ground, trying to have this thing rise from the surface, Android 17 firing off Ki Blast, eventually catching him in the barrier. All this stuff really, like, against a little bug. And, the excuse that they explain behind him being able to just, like, tap on everybody is that he's so small and you can't see him. They gave these characters some solid feats and abilities, but the characters as a whole suck because they didn't actually build them up at all. Like, I would actually rather have backstory on the Invisible Chameleon than the Kamikaze Fireballs, but they spent multiple episodes hyping up the Kamikaze Fireballs when week after week, we constantly as a community said enough is enough, we're tired of them. We don't want any more lovey, hearty things in the Tournament of Power. If I was Kitela and my strongest warrior got literally kicked out, dropped on some kickball shit, I feel like, okay, we never really had a fighting chance. This was inevitable. I should have expected our, defeat / erasure from the start. This is not surprising, but he did not take it like that at all. His reaction was quite the opposite. Very, very opposite of like what you'd expect from, a humble god of destruction. And of course he's not, but he just started threatening everybody, and dude looked like there was some drug intake going on there, like there was some stimulants in his system. It didn't seem like the Universe 4 Angel really cared about all the mortals in his universe, alongside Kitela, his underling. Very indifferent to their erasure, of course, and I'm assuming that's simply because, listen, Kitela, manipulative, scumbag, probably not the easiest individual to connect with. Always scheming, always looking out for himself. When is there ever any bonding time going on? So if we got some kind of like evil smirk from the Universe 4 Angel, that would actually be somewhat justified because Kitela knew exactly what he was doing. He probably had many opportunities to change his ways. Clearly, he wasn't the best god of destruction, otherwise he would have been exempt. His universe had a pretty average mortal ranking, and his shit would have been destroyed from the start had he been exposed for cheating. So he actually put the lives of millions of life forms in his universe at risk because he wanted to get an edge over the other universes. Probably almost just as much to f the other universes over as to have his own universe survive. That's the kind of person Kitela probably is. He wants to die, but he'll take everybody else with him. That's how he wants to go out. That's his dream. He don't care about himself as long as he can take everybody else out. Other than that, this week we had Vegeta vs. Pessoa at the beginning of the episode, and it got so serious that Vegeta actually transformed yellow-haired Super Saiyan just so that he could try and get this dude out of here. We've got Pessoa going Ultimate Pessoa. The second you saw that U on his uniform, you knew exactly what that meant. There's absolutely nothing ultimate about this dude at all, and I get what they're trying to do with this character. It's a joke, but it also feels like a waste of time. Give Vegeta a better moment than him, final flashing this dude at the arena. Actually, he didn't even final flash him at the arena. He was on the edge. Like, he took it, and then it was, what's the guy's name? Gami-Sadas. Gami-Sadas just knocks this dude out. Like, an absolute joke of a character. They even try to use Vegeta as an example as well. Like, this is what can happen to Universe 7 warriors. Yes, Vegeta's going to be taken out by Gami-Sadas. I, as a Vegeta fan, would probably drop Dragon Ball Super if that happened. If Vegeta dropped out to